Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I know I posted on my Twitter feed earlier that I would do one tonight. I made a few trades earlier in the week, but my memory's not that good, so I'll just go back to Thursdays and Fridays. Thursday was Netflix. I got in calls. It wasn't. I posted on the other day on Twitter at 30% win. I think it was closer to 15%. Roku was 30%. Netflix was. Actually traded next week's calls or this week's now at this point. Um, so they were a little bit more expensive. The dollar amount was nice, but the percentage wasn't as good. I think it was like 15%. I paid 830 and sold them for 950. So um, whatever that works out to, 120 divided by 830, 14.4%. I got in at 1144, which you can see this. Um, just quick overview of my chart. This is a 5 minute. This is a 15 minute, 30 minute, 60 minute, and daily. Um, that's how I have it set up, and I have them all linked. Um, I have 4 monitors, so I have other screens that things are linked. But I got in 1144, so at 1144, looking at this candle, I actually got in on the 30-minute 222 reversal here. You can see we had a two down, uh, kind of a hammer, and then a two up, and that's when I got in. um, so as soon as we broke above this candle, which would have been above 508.47, I got out at 1231, which would have been right after this candle opened. No real reason other than it was at the high here, and that was kind of my target, my magnitude. I only had one contract. Otherwise, I probably maybe would have sold one and rode it out a little bit longer. But I had full time frame continuity here. Um, I had the 30-minute. You can see at 11:44 down here on the 5 minute. That was just about when this candle was getting ready to open. So it did pull back slightly when I first got in. Um, kind of consolidated for about the first 20 minutes I was in, and then it took off. You look over here at 11:44, we had a 222 reversal plus uh, two more up candles, two more continuation candles, or one more continuation, and then I got in. You see on the hourly, the 60-minute, I got in at 11:44, and it was just breaking over this for a 212 continuation. So it was just breaking over this when I got in. So that was kind of what I was looking at. If you looked at the options, I paid $8.30. I believe they went to like $18. Um, so yeah, would have been a nice ride to stick it out. But so that was Thursdays. Friday, Roku. Um, take a look here. I got in at 10:59. I believe it was on the 15-minute chart. 10:59. Yeah, I think it was right about when this candle was about to pop. Right after we broke above this. Um, right when we broke above that, I got in 10:59. I sold at almost the high. I paid 268. This was Friday's expiration, current expiration. I paid 268 and I sold them for 350. So 350 minus 268, 30.5%. I think it only went to like I don't know, 375 or something. I forget what it went to, but I almost got the top of it. And the reason I sold it, I use these. I know, I know it's against Strat rules. I know Rob wouldn't approve, but I use these. There's pivot points that I have on here. I don't necessarily. I kind of use them maybe for entry sometimes. Maybe I only have it up on the 15-minute chart, but let's say it's only on for one day. But let's say we came down and popped down here and then popped right back up above it, and it was a hammer candle, and say the top of the candle closed right here, real close to this. This one here, I wouldn't really call it that this had anything to do with my entry because it was too far away by the time I got in. But let's say the candle closed right here and I got in on a break right above it, I would feel a little bit more comfortable because I had extra support here. I don't really use it for entries too much though, but I do eyeball it for exits. When it gets up close to one of these pivots and it starts to lose a little bit of momentum, I'll go ahead and get out. So they're not my number one tool, but I do kind of, it does weigh a little bit on my decision. And you can see right here, I got out at 11:16, which would have been right after this candle opened. And this candle, when it opened here, it went up to here and then pulled back down. So I got out like right just about at that pivot line. Yeah, sure, it broke above it, but yeah, I was kind of comfortable with that, especially with it being a Friday. Theta really kills you fast on Fridays on expiration day, and I didn't want to take a chance on it pulling back on me and then me being either stuck with a loss, selling it for a loss, or holding it for 2 hours and losing Theta. So I took my profit and got out. Mondays, I don't pay maybe as much attention to the pivots, because I have more time on them. So that was the two trades I made. Let's just take a look at a couple charts. This is Apple. Let's see if we can find something. Something that might have. Here's what you see Sarah likes to call a pivot machine gun. We came, big green candle up, and then we came. Well, I guess that wouldn't be the pivot machine gun, but kind of a backwards version of it. I don't really play that, so I'm not as familiar with it. Here's what I watch. I watch Apple, Disney, Netflix, Nvidia, Roku, SPY, Tesla. Looking for something. Everything kind of seemed to chop Friday, so this might be something to look at here. We had a 2 down, but it was green to open the day on a 60, and then we had an inside candle. Once we broke below that inside candle, we went right down here and took out the low. So we went down, took out the stops for that open candle, I don't think I mentioned it, but on the Netflix and Roku trades, I did have full time frame continuity when I got in those trades, and you can see that up right here. If they're all, I have inside candles in yellow, so it's easy to see an inside candle. I like trading off of inside candles, so I have them. They light up yellow when they pop up. So here's the Tesla 15-minute. We see what it did here on the 60. Here's the 15. Popped up, kept going, got right to that pivot point, and then we had an inside candle here, and then it broke down. I don't know what the time frame continuity on this would have been, but I'm guessing that probably most of them would have been red. I don't think it would have been full time frame continuity. The daily obviously would have been red because it gapped down. 60 probably would have been, well, obviously 60 was green, so you wouldn't have full time frame continuity the whole way through. But if everything else looks good, You don't necessarily have to have full time frame continuity. I like to do it just because I don't like losers, and I like to have, try to keep the odds in my favor. This here is the daily open. This is the open of the day, this yellow line, if you're wondering what that is. And these lines here are the previous day's high and low. So I can see if we're within that range. Let's take a look at the futures real quick. So you see my broadening formation I drew probably last week. I don't know for sure if that was last week or how long that's been, but you can see we gapped up but pulled back. Now we have an inside candle forming on the 60. This candle just started 3 minutes ago, so it's still early. It may go 2 up, may go 2 down, it may stay inside. We don't really know yet. You can see on the 30 we have 3 inside candles in a row, so a lot of consolidation there. On the 15, you can see we, well, let's go over here. There we go. I just had to scroll over. Something didn't look right there. You see we had a get 2 up gap, but it was red, so there's conflict. 2 down, but somewhat of a hammer candle. Then we had a 2 up, but it's somewhat of a shooting star, and then an inside candle. We broke that, so the magnitude would be up here. Now, if you're trading this, and this is why I traded next week's expiration on Netflix, I would want to set my stop below here if I'm being aggressive. And if I would have, on the Netflix trade with a stop that I was comfortable with, I was way up here. So I wasn't really giving it much breathing room. So I played next week's, or this week's, what it is now. I played this week's expiration so that I had some more room. Yeah, they're more expensive. They cost more, and the dollar amount might be the same in the end. But I didn't like, having a 15% stop and it being right here. So when I traded next week's, it actually put my stop down below the candle, so it worked out good. I typically set it, I have my default set for 30% win and 30% target, 15% stop, but I adjust those based on the candles. I just have it set, let's say for instance, let's go with this inside candle here. I would want my stop to be up here, my target to be right here. So I adjust them using Active Trader. I can just slide them up and down. And here's my active trader. So if I put an order, and you can see where it's gonna stop and target at. Now this is really cheap because it's last week's. It's actually no good, but if this was $1 per contract, then it's going to be $1.30 target and 85-cent stop. So, but that's kind of the video for today. Everything looks kind of flat right now in the futures, so there's not really much to show you there. Let me take a look at let's see if Starbucks did anything. Starbucks looks like it had a pretty good day Friday. Let's look at Friday for Starbucks. Not necessarily a pretty good day, but the open would have been pretty good. So right here you gap down, you came up, you filled the gap, then you had a 2 up. So if you would have entered right here on the inside on the break at the top of this candle on the 60, you would have had a little bit of a pullback here, but you could have rode it up to 87.14 from an 86. I don't know. On a Friday that would be quite a bit of, quite a nice percentage, but on a Monday, 75 cents isn't that big of a change on a Monday. But I don't like trading off the 60 right at the open of the day. I don't really look at the previous days. Let's say here, let's just say we had a 1-2-2. I don't necessarily trade going off of the previous days. So I mainly use the 60 just to see where we're at for the day. I don't trade off of a 60 signal. So, I trade off a 30 or 15 primarily. Later in the week, Fridays, current day expirations, I'll trade off the 5 just because everything moves so quick on Friday. But, if I get a signal on a 30, I'll glance over here and see how we look here. If I got a signal to go long here on the 30 and I look in the 15, looks good, the 5 looks good, but I have this candle on the 60, I'm staying out. If I have this candle on the 60 or this one, yeah, I'll jump in then. But I don't necessarily use the 60 as my entry signal. With options, in my opinion, options, if you're trading current week's expiration, the 60, the enter on the 60 is just too wide of a range. Your stop's going to have to be pretty big. Let's say this one here, you got in on the break of this candle and you pull back 40 cents on Friday. That 40 cents is probably going to be a 30, 40, 50% pullback on your options. And unless I'm trading a lotto, I'm not letting it go 30 or 40% negative on me. So that's one reason why I don't use 60s for an entry. Too much can happen within that 60-minute candle on options. Now, if I was trading the common stock, that might be a different story. I don't trade common stock hardly ever. You might be able to get away with that, but with options, in my opinion, you just can't trade current week's expirations based off the 60-minute chart. But I do, like I said, I do use it for confirmation. I get a signal on the 30, I get a signal on the 15, I'll take a look at the 60 and see how we're looking. If we have a big red candle on the 60, but I get a nice green setup on the 30 and the 15, I'm probably staying out of it. So, but that's it for today. It's kind of a quick generic video, but it's the first one I've done in a while. So let's take a look here. See, we had a 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, inside candle, 2 down, but it didn't follow through. And the reason it probably didn't follow through is because you didn't have any time frame continuity. You look here, you had a 2 down, but look where you're at on the 60. Everything on the 60 is green. You're down by this time. You're probably just about green on the day. The daily would be green, or the 60 would be green. The 30, you'd probably still be green because you're still going up. So this red 2 down on a 15, that's why it didn't work out, because you had green here and green here, and the 15 and maybe the 5 was the only ones that were red. So that wouldn't have been an entry. I wouldn't have been interested in that trade. Have an outside candle here. Now you can draw your triangle here, and look at that. Drew the triangle from this candle to this candle. Look where it came to, right here, right to it, probably to the penny. Popped it above it a little bit here, but it kind of respected it. So you have an outside candle, you draw your triangle off of it. I went back to here, and there you go. And right here, it just about to the penny probably. So, but that's it. I don't want to make this video too long. I still haven't put my new office chair together, so I'm gonna finish up this video, get it posted, and go put my office chair together and relax a little bit for the rest of the night. Maybe watch some futures trading after I put the chair together. So, all right, thanks for watching, and have a good week, and maybe I'll try to make another video or two this week. See you later. Bye.